So this is a short meditation practice. We're going to do a little bit of breathing practice, and then we're going to practice a So Hum meditation. So Hum means I am that, and it just really helps us when we chant it. So with the in-breath hum, with the out-breath inwardly to ourselves, it really helps us to get to feel that we are at one with everything. Not intellectually feel that, but just really experience that union of body and mind and spirit, the union with the divine, the union of the pairs of opposites. Helps us just to experience, and it also gives us a lot of confidence to know that we've got this. You can cope with any task at hand. So I hope you enjoy it. So you're going to get yourselves into a comfortable position. So if you're sitting on a chair, you probably want to sit forward on the chair so that you're not slouching, and place your feet flat on the floor. You can have a block or a cushion under your feet if you don't quite reach. If you're on the floor, you might be kneeling, maybe straddling a bolster or sitting cross-legged. Make sure, if you're cross-legged, that your pubic bone is tilting forward, so you've got a nice curve in the lumbar spine. And generally, in all of those positions, we want our knees lower than our hips, so we're really making space in the hip flexor and allowing the rib cage to really expand fully. So whichever position you're in, just roll the shoulders back and down and just settle yourself with your natural curve, tilting the pubic bone forward and just feeling that you can lift the rib cage up and away from the hips, and just allow the rib cage to expand in all directions as you sit. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable to do so, and just tune in with the gentle rhythm of the breath. If you can, you want to breathe through the nose with the mouth closed, because then the little hairs in the nose will filter and warm the air coming through the nose, and that will help you to take more oxygen, more of the oxygen diffusing into the blood supply. If you've got a blocked up nose, then don't worry about it. Breathe through the mouth. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, then do so. It's really nice to withdraw the senses as much as we can so we can get a really deeper sense of the meditation, the experiential sense. But if closing your eyes is not for you, then you can just drop your gaze down. So you can fix your gaze on a point, or maybe blur the eyes a little bit so they're soft. Just tuning in to the natural flow of the breath, watching the in-breath, watching the out-breath. At first, not doing anything to control or change the breath, just acknowledging its presence, watching as the breath moves through you, and allowing your posture to change to enable the full breath in and the full breath out. So allow the breath to move the body a little bit, feeling that you have space to fill the lungs completely. Generally, if we're pointing the pubic bone down, we have a nice curve in the lower back, and we're not really opening the chest too much, closing the back body down, then we should be able to feel a really 3D sense of the breath coming in and out of the body. And by that, I mean that as you breathe in, you're expanding in 3 directions. And we can go through these now. So let's start by thinking about the expansion of top to bottom as you breathe in. So as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that the top of the lungs are lifting and the bottom of the lungs are lowering down. So you're really expanding the lungs from top to bottom. So you feel that as the breath comes in, at the top of the lungs, the collarbones are lifting and smiling open. And at the bottom of the lungs, you can feel the diaphragm, this parachute kind of structure of the diaphragm flattening down towards the abdominal cavity. And as you breathe out, there's this natural recoil of that process as the diaphragm just gently rocks back into place and the collarbones move towards each other and settle. So focusing in on that lovely top to bottom expansion of the lungs as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, the gentle recoil of the lungs back into their original position. And in terms of length of the breath, we're trying to breathe less in a way. We're trying to slow the breath down so we take fewer breaths per minute. We don't want to force or strain in this way, but just really, really slowing the breath down. And maybe over time, the exhalation becomes a little bit longer than the inhalation. But the main thing, just slowing the breath down, just taking time to really experience that sense of top to bottom expansion. So take 3 more breaths like this. And then gently let that practice go. You can have a deep sighing breath if you want through your nose and out of your mouth, really letting that practice go, or just a normal breath without any control. And then I want you to become aware of the expansion from side to side. So as the breath comes in, the side to side expansion of the lungs. So that means that your rib cage is expanding out laterally away from you, as if the side ribs are moving towards the upper arms. So you really feel those side ribs moving out towards the upper arms as you breathe in. And then again, the gentle recoil of the exhalation. Nice, slow, long breaths. And you probably get a sense of those side ribs not only reaching to the armpits, laterally expanding you from side to side, but also a sense that those side ribs, the top ones are lifting up towards the armpits and the bottom ones are moving down towards the hips. So you've got that top to bottom expansion going on at the same time. You probably notice that, or you can imagine that as you breathe in and out. So side to side expansion of the ribs, of the lungs, as you breathe deeply. All awareness. And it's interesting to note if one of these areas is more difficult to imagine or to physically do, to physically expand side to side. It might be more difficult than top to bottom. It really depends on your postural habits and your breathing habits. Just very interesting to note. So just become aware of that, and you'll know that that's where your work is. That's where you can concentrate during the day on really getting the breath to those parts of the body. So take 3 more deep breaths like that. And let that go. You can take a deep sighing breath, or just another breath with no control. And then finally, we're going to concentrate on front to back breathing. So often when we sit up nice and tall, we really open the front body and we close down the back body, which is a shame because the back of the lungs really need to have that full expression of the breath. So this time, as you breathe in, I want you to think about expanding the ribs and expanding the lungs from front to back. So you feel the center of the sternum moving away from you in front, but also imagining a space between the shoulder blades, moving backwards behind you at the back of the body. And again, that's with the inhalation. The exhalation is just a natural recoil of that action. Nice, slow, deep breaths through the nose if possible, maybe feeling as though the exhale is slightly longer than the inhale. And respecting the natural pauses between the inhale and the exhale, and between the exhale and the inhale. Just enjoying that sense now of how just focusing on the breath in this way is starting to really calm the mind down. And take 3 more deep breaths in this way, front to back expansion of the lungs and rib cage. And then let that go completely. Have a lovely deep breath with no control, or a sigh if that brings anything up for you. And then we're ready to put all of these 3 parts together. So what I would like for you to do is take 5 deep breaths, and we'll count them together. So as slowly as you possibly can, you can count backwards from 5 breaths down to 1. And you can count them like this. Inhaling, I expand my lungs and rib cage front to back, side to side, and top to bottom. Exhaling, I feel the natural recoil of the muscles that help me breathe back into shape. Inhaling 4, I expand my rib cage front to back, side to side, top to bottom. Exhaling 4, I feel the natural recoil of all the muscles in the respiratory system. Inhaling 3, I expand front to back, side to side, and top to bottom. Exhaling 3, coming back gently to my center. Inhaling 2, I expand my lungs and ribs side to side, front to back, top to bottom. Exhaling, coming back naturally to my center. And last one on your own. And don't worry if my count was a little slow or fast. We've got time to catch up. We'll do some extra. Very nice. Now again, take a lovely deep breath or a sigh and let that practice go. And now just keeping the awareness on the gentle flow of the breath, but without worrying too much of the technique, we move to our mantra, So Hum. And all you do is you continue breathing in and continue breathing out. You can make the breath a little bit more subtle, so it's not like a deep, energetic, muscular contraction like it has been up until now. You can make the breath softer and more subtle. And when you breathe in, silently, inwardly to yourself, you can repeat, So. And as you breathe out, you can silently, inwardly repeat to yourself, Hum. So, on the in-breath, Hum. On the out-breath, So, Hum. And continue that practice, and you'll find your mind may wander. You might find yourself in another place at another time. And when your mind wanders, you just gently bring it back. Bring it back to so hum. Just following that pattern and that intonation, the musical intonation in your mind, with the inhalation rolling up, and the exhalation flowing down. And we'll just try to continue in silence for the next 3 or 4 minutes. Stillness and silence with just the so hum. And then take your final 3 breaths with the beautiful So Hum mantra. go. Take a deep sighing breath, or just a nice breath with no control. And become aware of your body sitting on the floor, sitting in the chair. Maybe drop your chin down towards the chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Maybe rolling the ankles, the wrists, the shoulders, making some gentle movements. Coming back into the room, gently opening your eyes. Maybe rubbing the palms together and placing the palms over the eyes. Just relaxing the eyes, maybe massaging over the scalp. Massaging the hair and the head and the face. And when you're ready, coming back into the world, hopefully feeling very, very calm, very in tune with your breathing, and full of this remarkable energy, enabling you to face whatever's coming up next. Thank you.